least one new face in the group today. So big welcome to you. Yes. All right. So the thing I was hoping to speak about today was this wonderful thing that Kundalini does, and a lot of people don't think it's so wonderful. Kundalini, when it comes into our life, Kundalini is like a rocket fuel. And this fuel will empower whatever it is that we are thinking or feeling. And so, say, for example, if we are someone who's meditating all day and doing yoga and singing praises, singing bhajans to the divine, we'll be empowered with grace, with light, and with, energies of bliss and expansion of consciousness. But if our mind is not, busy praising God, if our mind is busy angry at the past, or angry at our mother, our father, or whoever it is that's in front of us, often the very energy of Kundalini can be like rocket fuel for really intense emotions. So say, for example, if you are a jealous person and you have a jealous thought and you're a Kundalini person, then all of a sudden you'll notice that your jealousy has all this energy behind it. It's like it has a force behind it, a power behind it. And that should make your experience very uncomfortable. It should make it very unpleasant. Now, I can tell you this, like I grew up in a house where I had a father and he was very expressive, and he was expressive with profanity and with violence. There'd be times when he would be in the garage, like working on the chainsaw, and all of a sudden, the chainsaw would go flying across the garage. So it'd be like this screaming profanity. It was actually kind of hilarious, but terrifying at the same time. But with Kundalini, like I grew up in this household where I was exposed to a lot of anger. And so as a kid, I was just told to shut up. And so I grew up as an angry teen. And as the Kundalini came into me, it began to supercharge some of that anger that I had repressed within me. And so I'd find myself just having these angry fits. And I'd say, oh my God, like, how did this anger go from 0 to 100 in half of a second? Like, what's going on here? And so I had to really slow down and become deeply mindful about how I was feeling, about what I was repressing, about the thoughts that were, revolving around in the world of my unconsciousness. And I had to really begin to pay attention, because what I found was with Kundalini, there was really no room for me to have anything unresolved within me, because whatever it was that was unresolved would, soon be brought to the surface. Someone in life would come along and, press that particular button or put some pressure on whatever it was that was within me. They would challenge me in some certain way. And I would realize, like, oh my gosh, like I am flying off the handle. I'm flying off the handle here. And a lot of things get blown out of proportion because there is this pressure within us. And we all know this experience of walking around with Kundalini and just feeling if we're just like right on the edge of exploding. And while this energy is beginning to, push for the expansion of our consciousness, that same energy, which is, very much a neutral energy, can get behind and put pressure on something that's, that we might call negative, a negative emotion, jealousy, anger, rage, fear, unworthiness, insecurity, these types of things. And if you read the Yoga Sutras, there's all this language about having mastery over one's thoughts and feelings. And I don't like that teaching so much because it's like a top-down approach. And it's normally, that type of teaching normally appeals to our superego, which is judgmental and controlling and that type of thing. But the word I'd like to use today, or the teaching I'd like to bring forward, is we really need to have mindfulness about what is it that is within my consciousness? Like, what's here? And if we notice something within us, like if we have a really fearful aspect of our being, if we have an angry aspect of our being, a rageful, a vengeful, insecure, if we have a self-hatred within us, it's like we really need to take some time and focus in on that self-hatred and meet it with love, meet it with kindness, meet it with compassion, so that that thing can heal. And as that thing heals, then in the place of self-hatred, well, if we meet self-hatred with compassion, then, eventually that will transmute into a sense of self-tenderness and self-love and the sweetness that we have toward ourselves. And then what you'll find is when this Kundalini rocket fuel flows into this sweetness, then we start having these experiences where it's like, oh my God, I love myself so much. I feel so deeply connected to my heart. My heart feels so good and so pure. And, some people complain to me sometimes. They say, Craig, I don't experience any of that bliss that you speak about. I don't experience any of that freedom and that sense of power. And that's normally because there's a deficiency that's happening. There's a shadow that's here. There's something here that needs to be loved. There's something here that needs to be brought into the light. And again, like this is just another reminder of we have to be really awake and compassionate toward what it is that's floating around in our mind. And so, in this moment, I'm going to invite us to close our eyes. And in a compassionate way, in a loving way, we're just going to begin to breathe and to be real gentle with ourselves and sweet with ourselves. And I'm going to invite us just to take, a moment or two and to reflect. To reflect on the last time, the last moment we really lost it energetically. Where we really lost it. And again, we're not doing this to judge ourselves. We're just doing this to bring whatever that emotion is, whatever that experience is, whatever that shadow is, into the light. And so, I'm going to invite you to find whatever emotion came forward in an outrageous way. That's one way of putting it, a big way. And to really look at this again from a place of peace, look at it from a place of love. And the emotion may be directed at yourself, it may be directed at another, it may be directed at God or your partner or your mother or father, sister, brother. And I'm going to invite you just to breathe deeply into that emotion, to soften around this emotion, to meet it with our mantra of I see you, love you, and I care. And really working with ourselves in the most loving way, because we know as Kundalini people, any distorted emotion within us ends up just being a blockage for the Kundalini. And so we're going to breathe and we're going to feel, we're going to soften. Maybe even ask that emotion what it needs, how we can support it coming into a sense of balance or sense of harmony. If you see something really heavy like self-hatred, intense fear, like a screaming little girl, little child, giving ourselves permission to become intimate with this emotion, embracing it with compassion, with tenderness, and with a gentle sense of mindfulness and clarity, just knowing that emotions are not our highest truth. It may be true that our human self is feeling a way that hurts, but of course it's not the truth that we need to hate ourselves or hate someone else. The truth is that we need to breathe, we need to soften, we need to open. And sometimes, as we scan the body, we might not notice that there's something big here. It might just be a little something, a little tension, a little way of holding, a little tightness. And so let us just gently scan the body. So we'll start in the crown chakra. Just noticing, is my crown open? Am I connected with God? Do I trust in life? And feeling down into the space of the mind and the third eye, just noticing, do I have any limiting beliefs? Do I have any thoughts that hold me back? Or do I have any places, thoughts of rejection? And can I soften here? Can I soften? Can I open? Can I let go of these thoughts and just be here in this present moment? Knowing that my truth is that I am vast, I am spacious, I am peaceful, I am unlimited. So surrendering any limiting beliefs or thoughts, the old memories that hold or veil one's light. And feeling down into the throat chakra, and the throat tends to be a place where our superego dwells and judges and attacks and says this is wrong. And so again, we're breathing, feeling, and giving ourselves permission to clear out our throat chakra, to really surrender any sense of judgment, self or other. And softening and opening. more fully in the throat chakra. And coming down into the space of the heart and just noticing the heart. Is the heart a space where we've stuffed old emotions, or we're feeling on edge? There's a great deal of sadness or heartache. And if that's the case, can we open here and let some of that sadness empty out? Oh, we gently breathe. Quiet sense of love into what's here. Softening, inviting the energies of compassion, the true nature of the heart to take root, to come forward, to become manifest. Again, breathing, feeling, softening. Every breath. Knowing that love is the way. Love is the way. Breathe. We feel. We're continuing to open and feeling into the solar plexus. The solar plexus tends to be where we hold arguments with life, with others. Sometimes it's just a grand argument, like we feel we hate life or we hate this world. We hate our boss, our mother, father, sister, brother. And again, just inviting there to be a softening of any emotionality in the solar plexus, inviting love and a gentle sense of empowerment. Just knowing that you are good, knowing you are okay. Knowing that you are in a safe space. Knowing you can say yes to the truth and no to the untruth. And you can have healthy boundaries, healthy relationships. And again, with every breath, breathing and feeling. Trusting. And feeling down into the space of the hara. And again, noticing, well, what's happening in the hara? Is there primal fear? Fear towards life? Fear toward relationship? A fear around love and safety? And again, if that's the case, we're breathing a quiet sense of love. Even inviting a heavenly support, a heavenly grace. To flow into our hara, to flow into our body. Breathing in and breathing out. Providing this love. And connecting to the ground of being. connecting to the ground and knowing oneself as the ground. Breathe as we feel, as we open. Knowing and trusting that you are okay. The body is okay. You are safe in this moment. That your nature is the ground and therefore safe in every moment. For what you are is indestructible. And so finally taking a deep full breath and feeling into the hips and the pelvis, the root chakra. And just noticing. Again, is there any deep-seated fear in the root? Can I soften? Can I plug directly into the earth, directly into the ground? Can I open myself to Kundalini Shakti and allow this Shakti to rise like a rocket, letting it flow through the body without getting behind anything, without getting behind anger, or sadness, or rage, or whatever, but just letting the Kundalini Shakti flow, unencumbered, letting it flow purely, letting the Shakti blast off. So flowing up through the feet, through the legs, the hips, the pelvis, the hara, the solar plexus, through the heart, through the throat chakra, through the space of the mind, out the top of the head, flowing a great, gentle stream of light. And really enjoy the truth of Kundalini Shakti. This Kundalini Shakti's truth is just to flow as light, as love, as peace, as compassion, as bliss. This Shakti is not here, just to flow, supercharging anger or any heavy emotion. It's here to flow just purely as light. So let us breathe and feel and smile and open. And gently acknowledge, if we notice our emotions all of a sudden supercharged with Kundalini Shakti, that means we need to stop, we need to breathe, and we need to lay down, place a hand on our heart, do some healing work, do some integration work, do some clearing work. And so we'll take a couple more deep, full breaths here. Softening and opening, allowing this energy to flow and to integrate. And setting the intention to be extra mindful, have a sense of mastery around what's floating around in our unconsciousness, the space of our mind, so that our emotions don't get supercharged, with this very unique rocket fuel called Kundalini Shakti. Okay, and so you can open your eyes. I welcome you into this room.